guys, today I will be talking about one thing and one thing only, and that is popular books that I probably will not be reading. And if I do, it'll be in the very, very far future, and at that point I'll probably lose interest even more. So, popular books that I most likely will not be reading. Here we go. I want to start off this video with a quick expected disclaimer of if you love any of these series, I want you to love them. I want you to love any books that you read without anybody's other opinions influencing whether or not you enjoy them. But this is just my personal opinions, my personal experiences with books that I don't care to read as much. The first series that I have is the Vampire Diaries. I forgot to write down all of these authors. Rochelle Mead? R.L. something? I forgot. I've never seen any of the show. I've never really had any interest in the book. Never really was into vampires. I never had a vampire phase. I read Twilight. Twilight still means so much to me because it's Twilight. I don't know, overall I was never really that into vampires, so yeah. I most likely won't be reading that. I may watch the show at some point, and I don't know, if I decide to watch the show maybe I'll read it, but it's definitely not very high up on my TBR. Next, I have Matched, and the thing with this book is that I think I owned it at some point. If I do, I have no idea where it is whatsoever. I've heard not the best reviews on this book. I think the first one was said to be really entertaining, and in the second one she was just walking through the desert for the entire book, which I realize may be a bit of an exaggeration because, like, I mean, Cress was kind of walking through a desert the entire book, but I was still massively entertained. But I don't know, the overall story doesn't really interest me very much. The concept itself seems like a cool idea of like love being this disease and being pushed away from it, something like that. It seems like a cool concept, but I feel like it's a difficult concept to make 3 books out of, and it's just fully based on like a love triangle, and I've never even been told that. It feels like that's what's happening here. Most likely won't be reading that. Next, I have Lux. I have bought this book 3 times, sold it back to half price, and then just bought it again. Like, it happens again and again. And I've tried to read it, and then I'll just get distracted by another book, and then I'll set it down and I'll never pick it up again. So Lux is just, I don't know, like, I want to be entertained by this. I want to be super into this story because I'm very into castles and royalty and the politics of a royal atmosphere, but I also feel like royal atmospheres can bring in such entertaining dialogue. I feel like people can be witty and they can be honest with their opinions on the world that they're being forced to live in, and they can want to escape from the world. And then there can be the villagers that would love to be in this world, and they get in this world and they don't like it so much. There's just so much you can do with a fantasy, like, castle royalty atmosphere, and I don't know. I just don't feel like it would live up to it, so I'm slightly worried. And I've just tried too many times for it to ever end up happening. I almost added Shiver to this list, but I'm not sure if it's considered a popular book, so I didn't. But that's an honorable mention, I guess. Next, I have The Gallagher Girls, which I believe the first book is called I Could Tell You I Love You, but Then I'd Have to Kill You, but the overall series is called The Gallagher Girls. And also, another thing that I think would be very entertaining, but I also think this one's a bit more middle grade, which there's nothing wrong with middle grade. I have so many books that I want to get to, and it's just not very high up on my list. Once again, a spy school. What's cooler than that? She's like a trained spy. I love spies. I love trained spies. Like, I love Nikita so much. I just love spy schools with every ounce of my being. I wish I was a spy, but unfortunately I'm not because I have like a normal life and whatnot, and YA books have ruined my perception of a normal life. But overall, I just don't think that it would be something that I read anytime soon. I've heard that the writing style gets a bit mediocre towards the end of the series, so next, I have Beautiful Creatures, which, I mean, it's kind of touch and go. I know that a lot of people have said that they end up starting the books and then they never finish them, and I have no interest, once again, in vampires, or seeing the movie at all, or reading the books at all. And I think it's a 4-book series? I don't know. I just don't have any interest in it. Like, I can't even talk about this one because I just truly don't care. I saved the last 2 for the more surprising ones, I guess, and these 2 are definitely higher up on my TBR, which is why they're towards the end of this video, but they're still in the, like, not expected to happen anytime soon or maybe at all ever book list. It's not a physical list I have, but it's just something that you can assume. So the first one that I have is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and I know this is a duology, and I'm actually really into duologies lately because there's not that many of them, so I just want to, like, absorb all of the unique duologies, because they really are pretty unique. They're not often written. And then there was To All the Boys I Loved Before, but that's becoming trilogy, and there's like a whole big deal with that. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I did end up straying from this video, dang it. I heard that the relationship in this book isn't exactly what you would expect from a YA book relationship. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely steered me away from it a bit. So, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, I think she gets in a wreck. I think it's mystery. I think it's suspenseful. So it sounds interesting. I don't know. To be completely honest, most of these books that I don't have interest in, I do not have a good reason. I'm trying to work up reasons. I'm trying to think of something that would motivate me to not read these books, but I don't have a good reason. It's just kind of like, I don't want to, which is okay. If you don't want to read a book, don't read a book. I'm trying to like justify it to myself right now. What am I doing? And the last series, which definitely is higher up, but once again, not something that's gonna happen anytime soon, is Poison Study. I have heard so much about this series on BookTube. It's previously exploded quite a bit here, and I know that people have said that the writing is great, but the concept doesn't interest me that much. I don't know why. I absolutely have no idea why. But I just don't know how you make an entire series or an entire book even off of just the concept of someone like having poisoned foods, possibly poisoned foods, before the king does. I think that's what's going on there. I don't know how you write a whole book or series on that. And I think it's like 3 different sub-series along with that, so there's 9 books in total, and I don't know. I don't have good reasons for any of these. I'm just sharing my thoughts. So, that's all I got for you. So that was just a quick little short video because this month is a month of reading and I am like forcing books into my eyeballs like crazy. So I hope you enjoyed the video for today. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever time it is, wherever you are, and thank you for watching.